What's up, YouTube? So I'm gonna go ahead and say I might get off topic. I'm gonna do my best to stay on topic, but so I'm just gonna go ahead and start off. So I've been holding back on this video for a while. I've actually recorded this video like 5 times, and the reason why I've never posted it is because I didn't want to post anything with terrible acoustics. Like this room, before I actually hung up all these panels, sounded terrible. Like it, and also I had, I still got this drum set in here, which I finally got it set up, and I have the cymbals off, and I have the actual drums covered up by moving blankets or furniture blankets. And I'm not hearing anything from them, and that was the problem. Like I would just be talking in this room, and with the drum sets uncovered, my voice would I would hear it just on one ear because I'm not hearing anything come from here. And I got the booth behind me, as you can see, non-professional panels in there. So I'll go ahead and show you. So the panels I'm working with in the actual mix room are GIK acoustic, and I see a lot of people using these, like Sonic Scoop on YouTube. They have a lot of GIK acoustic panels. There was other panels that are expensive, but I actually heard the drums right there, so that kind of caught me off guard. But these are the ones I see being used most, and home studios. I wouldn't say professional studios. Maybe they're using these, but they're probably getting them custom made for that studio because most professional studios are actually built to be a studio, so everything's custom made. So yeah, GIK acoustic 242 panels. I have 9 of the 48 length by 24 width, and the thickness is almost 4 inches. So I have 9 of those, and I have 3 of the 36 length and 24 by 4. So this room is not very big, as you can see, and I have a weird setup because of the drums being in there. That's my dad's drums, and really the room is not, or where the monitors, where my studio monitors are, is not supposed to be this close to a wall. They're supposed to be in the actual middle of the room, probably facing that way. This room is weird. It's got this little hallway, so even if I was right there in the middle, my monitors, I don't know. The best place that I could set up is probably right here on this wall, because this wall behind me is flat. So I don't know. It's just a weird room. Whenever I get my own place, I'll have a better setup, more even like. But I'm not completely done with the panels. I do have, I believe they are the 48 length, but they are actual bass traps, so they're 6 inches thick, and they also have a diffuser on the front. They are the GIK acoustic impression series. So I have 2 of the big panels, and I think 4 of the square panels, and 6 inches thick. And I'm probably gonna do, if I can talk, I'm gonna do right behind the monitor, and in between the monitors, right? So my actual screen monitor and the studio monitors, I'm gonna do 2 squares here, and then on this side do 2 squares here, and then behind me, depending on if I move this setup, my first reflection points, that's probably where I'm gonna put those the bigger diffuser bass traps. So let's move on to the actual booth. And I've had this set up for a while. I've actually just kind of added on, a little bit at a time. Like every other week or every week, I would add more panels to this room. And now there is like 139 panels in this room. There's a lot of panels. I mean, they're on the roof too. The ceiling. So you can see this big old mic behind me. So this mic right here, it's upside down because it's a tube mic. So the reason why you have a tube mic upside down is because you don't want the heat traveling to the capsule. Supposedly it changes the sound. But this is an Aventone CV12, the BLA, which is the Black Line edition. If anyone has ever looked into getting one of these, maybe just the original CV12, you will know that this is supposedly the only mic that Taylor Swift will use in the studio. Not the Black Line one, but the actual CV12. So I decided to go with the black line because what I've heard about the mid-range and low end is kind of what I wanted to bring out, which my Audio Technica, which is back over here, kind of, I don't know, it was kind of lacking to me. And this one is the AT4050. So these mics are actually the same price. They are both $700 brand new. I actually did buy the Audio Technica used for like $350. It came with like a little fold foam case. Nothing special compared to what you get with the Avantone. But I've used that Audio Technica for almost 2 years now. And I figured I'm going to go ahead and, you know, have two different mics. You know, the tube mic will be more for singing. Audio Technica maybe more for rap. But what is powering the mics also matters. So I haven't had this long either. I probably bought this a month before I bought that Avantone. But this preamp right here is an ART voice channel. So it's a channel strip and it is tube based. So it does have tubes in it. And you can see right here, tube voltage. You can do normal or high. I always leave it at high. And both my mics are actually plugged into it. Now this is not a multi-channel or dual channel. You can only run one mic at a time. And the way I do that is one requires phantom power, one does not. So the one that requires phantom power is Audio Technica, so I push that in. And what I will do is actually leave this off. So this is the actual power supply for the tube mic. So if this is off, the tube mic is not going to get any power. So now the problem is, I don't know if it will damage the mic, but if I am using the tube mic and I do have the phantom power on, it possibly could damage the mic, but I have to make sure to turn that off whenever I'm done using the Audio Technica. So yeah, let me show you more of this voice strip though. I call it the voice strip or the tube strip, whatever. So what I use most on this is the actual compressor and maybe a little bit of the gate, but this room, you know, it's treated enough where I really don't need a gate too much. You know, there's not really any noise going on, but it's got a expander gate, depending on, you know, expander gate. I leave it pressed in for gate. It's got a, I'm not sure how many bands. I'll just say a 5-band EQ because it's got low, mid. So I don't really like how it works because your low frequency, you only have 50 hertz is pressed in and 150 hertz pulled out. And then for your high range, pushed in is 15,000 kilohertz. And then you take it out, it's 5,000. So you don't have much flexibility with mid and low range, or high and low range. But mid range you have all the way between 100 hertz to 15,000 hertz. So really, you could dial in your differences with these two, but I really don't even use the EQ at all. I just use a compressor, a little bit of the gate, and it's got a sample, this will focus, sample rate. This is only if you're actually running this straight to your computer, which I don't. I have it inputted to my Focusrite, so I don't have to actually worry about any of this, but I do leave it on 48 just in case. It has a VU meter, and it does light up, so if I turn it on, you know, you got your gain reduction here, so it is picking up sound. Let's turn on phantom power and we should pick up sound from the Audio Technica, which I won't be able to actually talk into it and hold the camera at the same time. So you can see the gate working in, so it's hearing me. And then when I stop, so turn off phantom power and we shouldn't be getting anything. I don't know why it's still going off. We'll go ahead and turn this off. But yeah, it's got your output level, you know, your compressor. It's a good, really good for vocals. I'm thinking about getting an actual digital one for the Avantone, because the way that it works for me is this works great for my Audio Technica because it's a cardioid condenser mic, so it's phantom power. But since the tube mic has its own tube power supply. This only really compresses it. So the only thing this really does for that Aventone is compresses it. It doesn't give it any kind of gain or anything because it has its own power. So I pretty much use the channel strip on the Aventone kind of like a distressor. So if you don't know what a distressor is, look up the Empirical Labs EL8 distressor and you can look into that. But next up, one of the most important things is monitors. So these are the Atom A7X. Really great monitors. If you've heard about the ribbon tweeters, that's what Atom's famous for. Each one of these is like $750, so $1,500 for the pair. And I got a cool little combo that came with these monitor stands and some. I actually use them for my laptop, but these Aerolex acoustic foam pads, and the reason why I use this on my laptop is to keep it lifted up so the coolant fans can have a little channel. And while I'm already here at my laptop, this is a Razer, so it's a 15.6 Razer. I forget the specs. It's like almost 2 years old. Core i7. Oh, guess we got. That's my stomach growling. Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead and put that thing on charge. But it's 8th gen Intel Core i7, 8750H processor, 16 gigs of RAM. Really works great for me. I gotta leave it on charge though when I'm really pushing power in Pro Tools. But yeah, just got a cool update though. And I'm gonna play a little Alina Barres to show you the little keyboard. Make sure my monitors are down. Let's see, it don't matter which one, but it lights up. Got where the keyboard will actually change with the song. So that's something new with Razer. Their Synapse, whatever the little controller is for the keyboard. But moving on, little Corsair Cherry MX Blues keyboard, and it's got controls for music, volume, which I wish this worked on Pro Tools because that'd be great, but you know, Pro Tools spacebar. Focusrite. So I've had this from the very start. So this is the very first interface I bought. It's a 6i6, and the main reason I bought it was because of the 2 headphone outputs and the 2 headphone dials for volume. And I never really knew how useful this was going to become to me because of all the inputs. So I do have my voice channel running into, I'm not going to show you all the inputs, but it's running into the Focusrite, and it's got 2 sets of monitor outputs. So this is one right here, and actually the monitors aren't plugged in, but this is my other set right here, and maybe I'll get that back in there. But that's for my PreSonus. Those are actually my bathroom, my PreSonus monitors. They're a little 3.5 Bluetooth, so compared to these, there's nothing to them. So I don't even mix with those. Those are my on-the-go monitors if I go anywhere, if I bring my studio with me, because I do have my little Focusrite Solo. I like this because it runs straight off of computer power. So if I bring my laptop, record in my car, or you know, a hotel room, whatever, I can just, you know, throw this on, plug it in the computer. It's got phantom power, and yeah, I can even use this in recording in the car with my Audio-Technica. But you know, with the tube mic, that ain't gonna happen because you gotta have your big old power supply. So you know, if I just want to take a couple things with me, laptop, monitors, this mic, good to go. And let's see what else have I not covered yet. This is my little control center, I guess you could say. It says it right there. So this is to charge my computer, flip it on and off. These are my monitors, left and right. And I leave this one off most of the time. This is actually for the actual Aventone CV12. No, that CV12. Those are the rims of my car. Alright, let's keep moving on. But so hard drives, you gotta have your hard drives. This is a 4 terabyte My Passport. No, that's my book. My Passport is actually chilling up under there. That's my portable hard drive. That's usually for my personal stuff. I keep my 4 terabyte for music and everything like that. And honestly, that's really it. The most important thing to me is acoustics for sure. But shoot, I probably got 10,000 wrapped up into the studio. A lot of the money is acoustics and that foam in there, but most of it is the speakers. The laptop, I mean, I've had it for, I think, right around a year, but that laptop was like $2,100 when I bought it. So that's a lot of money. And the panels, those are expensive too. But I tell you, they make this room sound good for sure. So yeah, that's my studio. I'm not gonna get into Pro Tools or plugins or anything like that. That's the physical studio. And yeah, my light too. I got this little spinner light. If I can get it to come on, guess it has a calibrator or whatever. And yeah, if I turn the light off, which I'll go ahead and do that now, you get a little vibe. And it's got like 2 different settings. It's actually got a sound setting too. So if I'm playing loud music, I can put on the sound setting, and I'll show you how that works. All right, I actually just turned the whole thing off. Huh? All right, so let it calibrate again. So it's in the sound setting right now. I have to go back to the actual. Now we go back to the sound. So the like microphone's like right here. Hold up. It's pretty accurate in my opinion, but you know, I mean, it's not great. It's alright. You know, you see it reacting to me talking, but it's nothing special, honestly. And I got the black light in the booth. If you hadn't noticed that already, it's not a real black light. I'm wearing a white shirt, and let me shut the door. I'm not really glowing. I'm kind of this, you know, reacting to the actual light. Like, it doesn't make my shirt look purple like a real black light would. So, I mean, it's just a vibe. You don't want it to be way too bright. And so yeah, that's pretty much the studio right there. If you want to talk about all the wires and routing, I'm not going to get into all that. I mean, I'm already 17 minutes into this video, so that's pretty much it. Oh, I forgot one thing. My direct monitoring mic. So this mic right here is a Shure SM58. I was about to say SMB7, but that's definitely not. So yeah, SM57. 58. There is a 57, but this is definitely the 58. And yeah, it sounds alright. I might use it for podcast. Right now, I just use it for direct monitoring, talking to who's ever in the booth. And I've actually haven't had anyone since I've actually treated the room in the booth. So the main thing was that door had to be shut because there was no treatment in the mix room whatsoever. So now that there's actually treatment in here, and I can kind of still hear that drum just a little bit. I'm not sure which one it is. I'll figure that out later. You can pretty much leave the door open while recording now if you want to, because that room gets hot with all the foam in there when the door's shut, no AC. So that's pretty much the studio. So I might do some mixing videos in the future, studio vlogs, studio vibes. I'm not sure, but that's just an overall tour of my studio.